Hi and welcome back to Chop's Garage. Before we get into today's video, just a quick round up what we're going on today. We've got custom valeting the new 66 plate Dacia Duster 4x4 I've got in with only 44,000 miles on it. I'm about to photograph this mint Honda Civic 1.8 automatic that's only got 35,000 miles on it. This is the condition it came in. We've just washed the outside off because we've got a bit dusty driving it back here, but this is the condition this car's come in. It is mint, 14 plate, and all the alloys, there's no lack of peel on it. All the paintwork is absolutely beautiful. Really nice motor. Probably say prices while people are looking. That's Autotrader recommended 10.5 grand, so probably 9,995 that. That I think is something like 8,995 with 45,000 miles on it on a 66 plate. We're going to also photograph the van because we finally pulled that out and valeted it. 138,000 mile VW Caddy, which I think is about 7.5. It's not a Caddy, is it? It's a Transporter, which I think is about 7.5. These are worth good money. 2006 with 134,000 miles on. It's still easy 7.5 grand car in here, especially when it has the rear seats and it is all being carpeted out. That's just been valeted by my custom valets as well. It's working very hard today. I have just had back the Peugeot that went out the door and has the dubious pleasure of only going out for 3 days before it threw an engine management light, which turned out just to be a resistor for a fan. I drove that car around for days. It's sod's law. The minute a customer gets their hands on it, it wants to throw a code, but it was just a resistor. It showed it was intermittent, so possibly in the past it's come up. So yeah, so that's been fixed and they're picking it up tomorrow. So they've not been without that for very long. And I've just photographed, I don't think I've shown this car before either, this Ford Focus, which again is an automatic with the 1.6 ZTEC engine, the one we love. And this has only got that's got 36,000 miles and this has got 32, is it, on it, I think? This is a little minter as well. Absolutely lovely. Subscriber car. This one's a subscriber car. That's the main dealer part exchange. This one's a subscriber car. So massive thanks for thinking of me when it came to sell the car. Drove it down to me. I dropped him back to the train station. Was Uncle's car. Gave it to his nephew as his first car. His nephew was like, "Thanks, Uncle, but it's an automatic." But didn't want to get rid of it because he'd been kindly gifted it. But then unfortunately the uncle passed away. So they then felt comfortable selling the car on and finding a more suitable car and thought of me when it came to selling. This is absolutely like full service history, cam belt done, the works, and is I think it's only a couple of owners on it. This is properly nice condition, this car. So that one is up for sale. Can't remember offhand how much that is. That'll be on the website. So I photographed that. I photographed our subscribers part exchange Renault Clio as well. That one is going to be going up on the site as well. It's just a cheapy one that we got in part exchange. It's only done 75,000 miles and our subscribers really looked after. Full history, belts. He's upgraded the suspension, which still rides really nice. It's not crazy. I think you had to replace the springs anyway or something and did that. And I had the Dent Man round, and the Dent Man has got my Ford Focus ST sorted out. So this was absolutely gorgeous car, 85,000 miles on a 19 plate. And the only bit of bodywork on it really was a big ding in the boot. It wasn't big, it was just up here, right by that Ford badge. And I thought I was going to have to get it painted. But the dent guy got it out. Brill. So that's all ready to be polished up and photographed now. That again, the price for that will be on the website. That's a stunning looking estate. If you're forced to buy an estate but you want something that still looks sporty, and with a 1.5 turbo and it does its little flyer. So yeah, that's what we got going on at the moment. PT has got the Panda 4x4 in because we need to take the prop shaft out and get the centre bearing done for it to pass its MOT. It failed on the centre bearing, so we and rear springs. I think or were they advisories? One was an advisory, one was a fail. So we did both rear springs, and he's freed up a caliper that was sticking. So he's just in the process of doing that. Like I say, I'm going to quickly photograph this while the sun's out, and then we'll get on to what's the title of the video is all about today. I thought I'd find a quiet little spot to have a chat with you in because Pete's doing a lot of cleaning outside, a lot of pressure washing, and you can hear it in the unit as well. So the subject of today's video, some of you may well have seen the video I put out a little while ago about Autotrader. I put out a video about Autotrader and how I felt that they'd shot themselves in the foot with the car dealer market. If If you haven't seen that video already, you might want to go and revisit, but I'll recap it for you really quickly. Basically, I didn't think most people knew how much dealers paid Autotrader. Base package for Autotrader for 10 cars for a car dealer is £1,200 a month. Now you have like a package where you have slots and you can take cars in and out as they drop off. You put another one in. It does give you other information like industry trends as to what cars are selling quickly, obviously what pricing it should be. But what a lot of you didn't know is how much some people are spending if they have a forecourt sale with 100, 200, or even 300 cars. If you've got that kind of volume of cars, you can be paying up to £50,000 a month to Autotrader for advertising. Now, the reason I said they chopped themselves in the foot is everybody was already quite annoyed at how much they were paying Autotrader. A lot of them were also unhappy with the results, the amount of inquiries they're getting through on the cars. A lot of them didn't really weren't happy with the valuation system that they put on the cars, where it says they're fair, overpriced, because it didn't reflect a lot of things about the cars, like service histories and the package you were given them with car length of warranty, all that kind of thing. So people were already a bit unhappy with Autotrader, the car dealers. But as I said in the video, it's like a boiling frog syndrome. They're getting their sales from there, so they just stayed in it. But what Autotrader did most recently is very untactfully, they shouted on rooftops, well, I guess for the purposes of shareholders and so investors, they'd made a 26%, I've just set my figures again, 26% increase in profits in 2024 over 2023. They've made a 26% increase in their profits. So you've got a group of customers that are already not particularly happy with the product, aren't happy with how much they're spending, and you're shouting from the rooftops how you've had a 26% increase in profits. But then they compounded it further by then on the 1st of January writing to all the dealers and saying there's going to be an 8% increase in your package price. It didn't add any features, nothing like that at all. There's no justification to it other than it's just the annual increase. And apparently this has happened for a long time before. They just had this annual increase. So we've made 26% more profit. Oh, and we're going to charge you another 8% on your package. Now, obviously, if you're paying 20, 30, 40, 50 grand a year, that's a lot of money. Whoever you are, that is a lot of extra money. So I put up this video and I explained that in my YouTube, what I'm doing on YouTube, I'm teamed up with people like Car UK, with Joe at Shifting Metal, speak to High Peak Autos. We even get to speak to Mike Brewer and stuff like that. We're in a real community of car dealers now. I do a podcast where I get to speak to a lot of other car dealers as well. And I was hearing so many, well, it wasn't so many people, it was everyone I spoke to. Everyone I spoke to was unhappy. And I'm not talking about one or two, I'm talking about lots of people were unhappy. And they were reducing their packages down to lower packages on Autotrader, what you also sometimes call a starter package. So they were either in the process of doing that, they'd either done that, or they were reviewing it with a plan to do so. And I was saying it wasn't just like, say, one or two, it was just like pretty much everyone I was speaking to. And I said, what's happened here is they've just overcooked it. They've pushed people too far. And people are now beginning to look at things like Google bringing out car adverts in Google results. People starting to look at social media. I stressed, how many sales I got from social media myself by just putting, videos out on TikTok and YouTube and so forth. Now, interestingly, it seemed a few people from YouTube, for a few people from Autotrader saw that video. It did fairly well. And the very same people I'm talking about here that have downgraded the packages start to get phone calls and booked in visits for their Autotrader reps to come and see them, or phone calls to their Autotrader reps to come and see them. And they've been telling people I'm talking absolute rubbish. They've been telling people I'm talking absolute rubbish, and they've had no real downgrade with dealers downgrading their package at all. Which is strange, because the very same people I'm talking to that Autotrader have said that have seen their Autotrader rep or speaking to because they've just downgraded their package. So isn't that strange? So I'm talking absolute rubbish and people aren't downgrading their packages, yet these people are on the phone to people who've downgraded the package. And as I said in the last video, to tell them how badly it's going to impact their sales, how they're better off keeping their package where it is. Now, interestingly, what they've also been doing is they haven't wanted to discount the price, because I guess they're never going to want to be able to do that. But these guys that have been wanting to downgrade the package, they've been giving them extra free slots, this kind of thing, encouraging them to keep their package up, and they'll give them extra freebies. So obviously, like I said, they can't react to everybody being naffed off with an 8% increase by reducing the price of packaging, because that defeats the point. So what they're going to do is give them free extra spots. They've been trying to incentivize these guys to keep their package up. But what's happened is, and as I said on the last video, and again, I've spoken to several people since, is the people who have downgraded their packages aren't seeing any drop off in performance. They're getting the same number of inquiries through. And it's the same argument I had last time, is that if you are a consumer looking for a car, you cannot have a website that prioritizes the search results based purely on who's spending the most amount of money, because you'll have irrelevant search results, won't you? The search results have to be, if I am looking for a Vauxhall Astra within 30 miles of me, and I want it to be a diesel, and I want it to have under 100,000 miles and be under 5k or whatever it might be, you're going to have to provide those results, regardless of who's paying you the most amount of money. You're going to have to provide those results, because that's what I'm looking for. And if I don't find those results, I'm going to go off and use a different website, and that's where you lose all your advertiser revenue, and you lose your sort of lead position in the market. Now, I want to stress here, I'm not slagging Autotrader off. It's a good product. It can work quite well. It's still the go-to website for people to look for cars. I just think they needed to read the room, as my mate Joe says. They needed to read the room and realise perhaps this wasn't the time to hike prices. Because dealers have been struggling a bit recently as well. This wasn't the time to hike prices. Now, like I say, I don't actually have a problem with the product. What surprised me was when I put that video out is the amount of consumers that went into the comments and said how poor they thought Autotrader results were now. How irrelevant a lot of they are. A lot of them complained about the results being swamped with totally irrelevant adverts for people like Kazoo and stuff like that, I think it was. I'll have to go back and check exactly what the comments were. Now, obviously, I haven't used it to search for a car myself for a long time. So I did do a few searches, and I was surprised by some of the results, and it didn't lead me to believe perhaps they are taking spend into account when they give the search results. And it isn't as consumer focused as I thought it was, as user focused as I thought it was, because I have a background from working in sort of digital marketing, and when we were doing our website, it was all about getting the right result for the user. That users. You need people going to your site. That's where you get your advertising revenue from, is from footfall to your site. So I was surprised to see how many irrelevant results there were. Like I said, it also surprised me seeing the comments, and a lot of my dealer friends said it as well. If you are from Autotrader and you happen to see this video, you want to get in there and read the comments and see how many people are unhappy with the search results that Autotrader does provide now. And perhaps if the site is driven entirely by customer spend, advertiser spend, that's something you want to rethink as well. It's interesting as well, because talking to my dealer friends, a lot of them that are talking to the Autotrader reps, they're trying to tell them how the site's improving by doing things like, for example, allowing AI to give you a advert for your car. So you put your car on and AI can generate the wording for your advert. And I've seen some examples of it, and it is, I don't know any other way to say it, piss poor. Piss poor. You would not, it's terrible. And my guys are saying, well, Hangfire, my dealers that are spending 30, 40, 50 grand are saying, Hangfire, we spend a lot of time writing our ads to make sure they read really, really well. Why are you saying it's a positive that someone that doesn't make their effort can just tag in AI and have the wording done for them? Why would you think I would view that as a positive? Like I say, seeing examples of the adverts it puts together, I don't think they really should have a lot of concern, because it wasn't of any real quality at all. So am I saying, we need to boycott Autotrader, you need to not use Autotrader? No, as I said, I don't think it's necessarily a bad product. It's a well-known platform. Like I said, I think they need to read the room and maybe reconsider this price hike. But I do think this is, as I said in the last video, a really good opportunity for dealers to start to invest money elsewhere in generating their own leads. So often in business, social media is just given to somebody as a side job to do. You need someone dedicated doing it. You need to be making sure you max out all those free platforms. You can advertise your car free on Facebook. I'm not just talking about Marketplace, but having your own page, putting regular videos out of the cars that have come into stock. cars that are going out of stock with customers. People like to see cars going out of stock. Really good example. This is a friend of mine who started really going hell for leather. This is my mate at Dave at Lovely Car Company. His Instagram, he's gone hell for leather on that. He's posting when stock comes in. He's posting when it goes out with the customer. He's posting videos of his salespeople walking around it. He's really taken that on board, and it's quality stuff. If you see that from a customer point of view, that's really quality stuff, and that's free. Yeah, I mean, there's some time involved in it, but it's free. You can do the same thing on your Facebook, and you can do some TikToks free, of course. You know, TikTok, little walk arounds videos, what stock come. I've done TikToks and people have jumped straight on and said, how much is it going for? Do you do finance? All those kind of questions you want to be hearing. Obviously, YouTube is totally free as well. YouTube channel of just a business day to day, what stock's coming in. My friend Shiek's just started that out. So I might put a link to his videos down below. But this is all free. This is all free. And I think, you know, when you're talking about advertising that costs you 20, 30, you know, even if it's costing you 10 grand a month, to pay somebody a few £1,000s to do your marketing in-house, spend some time doing that, is money well invested. Really good opportunity as well. Maybe you've got local colleges, universities that are doing sort of media stuff and web design stuff and social media and all that kind of good stuff. Go and grab yourself one of those people. Maybe they can come on part-time for you. Maybe you can give them a role when they leave college or university, and it'll be a really valuable part of your business. And I say, and the one thing I wanted to get out of my video was not really to slag Autotrader off, but was to encourage all you other traders out there to take that social media seriously, to start putting some time into that and a little bit of money into that, and then you won't be so reliant on platforms like Autotrader. The other positive thing of social media as well is I get a lot of stock in off it as well. So, you know, everybody's always crying out for getting stock and having to fight people at auctions for you know, for pricing on cars. It goes crazy at auction. You know, having your social media run as well and letting people know that you also buy in cars is a great way of getting yourself stocked up. So yeah, but I also wanted to set the record straight that I wasn't talking absolute rubbish. And there are an awful lot of people out there. Please get in the comments and comment yourself if you're doing it at the moment. Awful lot of people there are reducing their Autotrader packages, and I'm not talking rubbish. For once, I admit I often do, but for once I'm not. As always, massive thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Oh, don't forget, before I go, we have got the new raffle that's just come out. I've just released the new latest Chops Garage raffle, which is this Ford Fiesta ST. Nice low mileage. Is it 58,000 miles on this one, I think? Ford Fiesta ST will be coming out with a brand new MOT, freshly serviced. These are widely considered one of the best hot hatches out there. It's only £1 a ticket, this one. I decided to do a £1 a ticket raffle because the raffle's been so well supported. I thought it's time to give back. Let's make it really affordable. There's no minimum ticket sale number, so the car will be won regardless of how many tickets are sold. And as always, we're supporting the local charities. We're supporting Ability FC, which is the football team locally here in Barnstable for those kids that have, kids and adults that have learning disabilities, that kind of thing. They play as a football team, great bunch. They've recently had a big sponsor pull out, so they could do with all the funding help they can get. There is an alternative prize of £4,000 cash if you want to get involved and you're not that bothered about the car, which I don't know why you wouldn't be, because this is a hell of a bit of kit. Like I said, there is a cash alternative of £4,000, so I'll put a link to the raffle in the video description down below.